What does Clemson get out of FCS games each year?
What does Clemson get? We get opportunity to, just like anytime you cross the lines, opportunity to get your football team better. Same thing we're going to get when we play Georgia Tech next week, chance to get our team better. Same thing we had when we opened up with Auburn, chance to go play the game. You get 12 of them. I think it's great. I think it's great for that level. I think it's great for this state. I think it's great for those kids to have an opportunity to come and play the big boys, if you will, and to get to play on a stage like we have here at Death Valley. I think it's great for the budgets, the bottom line for that level, because a lot of those teams would go away if they didn't have the opportunity, to share the wealth a little bit. And so I think it's great. And South Carolina State, heck, this is their third game in a row, playing Division I opponents. So they'll probably be happy to see Florida A&M next week, and get into the league play and all that stuff. But I think it's great. Again, a lot of those kids maybe didn't have opportunity to come to Clemson, but here's a chance to go and match up. It's like that left tackle. It's huge for him. I mean, this is an NFL prospect, and now all of a sudden he gets an opportunity to compete against a Christian Wilkins, a Cleveland, for some, Clemson-type guys, and I think it's great for him. It's great. It's a measuring stick for a lot of those young men, and for us, it's another game. It's another opportunity to get better as a football team, to try to play well. And that's because it's not whether we're playing South Carolina State or Florida State, and y'all don't like to hear that, but it's the same to me. We don't practice any different. We don't meet any different. It's exactly the same. I just want to see our team play well and just try to want to know that week.
The majority of your time as an assistant, Clemson did not play as many of the FCS teams. Was that something that you wanted schedule-wise?
I think we played one about every year I was here. I think we played I think we played Furman and Wofford and Citadel and South Carolina State. We've played one a year, and I think most teams do that. When I got the job and we looked at our schedule and what we wanted to do from a national standpoint, and with our 8 conference games, I want, and then playing South Carolina every year, I wanted to be able to step out of conference and let's go measure up. Let's go see what we got, and then play another mid-major like a Troy or somebody, and then let's. I think it's my experience with those games has been very good, and we've had opportunities to get beat in some of those games. We've had some hang on to your hats with Wofford and Furman. I mean, we've had some tough moments along the way, but. I think it's been good. I think it's been good for the fans, good for the kids, and good for the budgets. Because I certainly think it's great for them to have opportunity to get an influx of money into their budgets.
Coaches from around the ACC have defended this league for a long time. 3 teams in the top 10 right now. Does this early start kind of validate what you and other coaches have been saying?
I mean, we're off to a good start, but I think what validates it is how you finish. That's what validates it. It's just like all these rankings. Everybody's just living off last year's headlines. That's the only reason they have the preseason rankings. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what anybody's got. Everybody leaves, new players, all that. I mean, you think you know, but you don't know. Just look at the preseason rankings from the last several years. All those teams that were in the top 10 that didn't finish in the top 25. Teams that weren't in the top 25 that finished in the top 10. It's baloney, all right? It really is. I mean, who the heck knows what anybody is right now? Validation comes with performance. That's when it's validated. All right, we're not going to go run an ACC flag out there. Ooh, we got 3 teams in the top 10 in week 2. Hallelujah, we're the greatest ever. Let's just see where we are in December and January. I know we're a great league. I don't need anybody to have rankings to know how hard it is to play in this league. I know what's in this league. I know what's been in this league. The NFL knows what's been in this league. A lot of them teams outside this league know what's in this league. Because just look at the matchups, look at the head-to-heads over the last several years, 3, 4, 5 years. I don't need rankings to validate any of that stuff to me. But maybe from a national perspective, you look at the quarterback play in this league. I don't know if there's a better league out there with the quarterbacks that we got in this league. I mean, there's some freak shows going on in this league. I mean, there's some dudes that make you hold your breath, and we got one of them. And I think that's probably the biggest thing. When you got great quarterback play, you usually got a chance. When you got talent, and there's a lot of talent in this league, and a lot of consistency. We've had that several years. I mean, we've been having 9, 10, 11 teams go to bowl games. You got to compete every single week in this deal. But at the end of the day, it's all how you finish, really.
Hunter Renfro's really on a roll. Is he the kind of guy who has the wherewithal to come back seamlessly 5 games from now?
Oh, yeah, he'll be all right. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
So Ben Boulware out for sure?
Well, he's lobbying. I went to the State House one time, and I've never seen such. I didn't know that lobbyists were like real people. I didn't really understand the concept of that. But they really do hang out in the lobby, and that's kind of what Ben Boulware is right now. He's a lobbyist. So I don't know. We'll see. But probably my plan is to not play him. But he's really, I mean, he's back. He's lobbying hard, trying to show his great back pedal and how good he feels. And there's nothing wrong with him. And this is bull. So, and I love that. I love that about Ben. But our next goal is to win the division, and hopefully we can get it done without him this week. But right now, I'd say we'll probably dress him, and if we got to have him, we'll play him. I mean, we got to do whatever we got to do to win the game. It might come down to an onside kick. Hold on to your hat, and if it does, we got to do whatever we got to do to win the game. And but if we can hold him, that will be the ideal situation for us. But he's doing good. No, we're not practicing him. He's just rehabbing, strengthening.
Do you plan on Jalen starting? And
Jalen will start at will. He's our kind of next man up at every spot, to be honest with you. He's our putty guy. Really does a great job. He's the one guy that can play Sam, Mike, and Will pretty seamlessly. So he and JD will man that spot.
Coach, any thoughts on the NCAA pulling its championship events out of North Carolina due to the controversial law and the ACC championship being debated to be pulled out of the state next? Tim just told me about that last night during my radio show, so I hadn't really read anything about it or other than what he said. But I mean, I don't have any thoughts other than I hope we're in the championship and we'll go to Pluto and play wherever. It don't matter. Just tell us where it's at, and we'll go play. It's really all that matters. Just tell us where to show up. We'll show up.
Dabo.
Hopefully everybody can go to the bathroom while they're there. I mean, it don't matter. Where's the game?
Since been catching balls, what are the things y'all need to do to get your tempo to your desired level?
Catch balls. Execute the plays that are there, the layups. We got a basketball coach in the house. We're a fast-paced basketball team here, and we got a bunch of wide open layups, and you miss them, you're clanking them. Well, what does that do? That ain't good. I mean, it just affects everything. Your rhythm now, it's like everything's a three-pointer. Now everything's third and long. It's just frustrating. We just need to execute.
Since we pulled off the interstate for a moment, would you discipline one of your players if he chose not to stand for the national anthem?
Would I discipline one of my players?
Well, we don't really have the national anthem, but I would just say that I don't think that, no, I wouldn't discipline my player for that. I think everybody has a right to express themselves, in that regard. But I don't think it's good to be a distraction to your team. I don't think it's good to use the team as the platform. I totally disagree with that. Nobody's really asked me about Kaepernick or whatever, but I totally disagree with that. Not his protest, but I just think there's a right way to do things, and I don't think two wrongs make a right. Never have, never will. And I think that it just creates more divisiveness, more division. It's sad to me to see what's going on in this country. I think it creates more division. I think there's a better way. How about, he called press conference, express your feelings. Everybody will show up, talk about it, express yourself, go and be a part of things and protest them and do. That's great. I mean, I think everybody has that right, and I certainly respect that, but I just think that this just creates more division, and that's what I hate to see, and I hate to see what's going on in our country. I really do, because I think this is a good world. I think this is a great country. It's just that things get painted with a broad brush around in this world these days. There's a lot of good. There's more good than bad in this world. And I think, you look at, I think one of the greatest leaders this world has ever seen was Martin Luther King. I don't know that there's ever been a better man or better leader. And, to me, he changed the world. He changed the world through love in the face of hate. He changed the world through peace in the face of violence. He changed the world through education in the face of ignorance. And he changed the world through Jesus. And boy, that's politically incorrect. But that's what he did. And it's amazing when we don't learn from our past, you know how you can repeat your mistakes. And and then the Bible says the two greatest commandments. If we all live by those, there'd be a lot of problems that go away. It says, love the Lord with all your heart, all your mind, and all your soul. And the second one is love your neighbor as you love yourself. It doesn't say love your neighbor if they're the same religion. It doesn't say love your neighbor if they're the same color as you. It doesn't say love your neighbor if they pull for the same team as you. It doesn't say love your neighbor if they're the same gender as you or whatever. Love your neighbor if they have the same sexuality as you. It just says love your neighbor as you love yourself. If we all live by that in this country, we wouldn't have near the problems that we have. That's just my opinion. But I've never felt like that two wrongs make a right. And I think that although his intention is good, and I just think the method is not. My opinion. I'm entitled to that, just like everybody else. But as far as disciplining my player, no. I think, again, everybody has to. Only thing I'm going to discipline my player for is things within this team and the team rules and those type of things, holding everybody accountable to the standard. If guys want to go be a part of things, I just think they should do it on their own time and outside of the team framework. That's just my opinion. But I think there's a lot of good in this world. My brother is a retired police officer, 30 years, and worked the night shift his entire life. And there's a lot of good police officers. There's thousands of perfect traffic stops, a lot of good men, a lot of good women, but those don't get the stories. But there's some bad ones too. There's some criminals that wear badges. Guess what? There's some criminals that work in the media. There's some criminals that are football coaches. There's some criminals that are politicians. There are criminals that work in churches. I think we have a sin problem in the world. That's what I think. It's so easy to say we have a race problem. It's so easy. No, we got a sin problem. That's just my opinion. That's Dabo's opinion. And I think the answer to our problems is exactly where they were for Martin Luther King when he changed the world. Love, peace, education, tolerance of others, Jesus. That's what I think. And I think a lot of the things in this world and everything that's so bad and this world's falling apart, you know, some of these people need to move to another country. Some of them need to move to another country. I think that I think a lot of the things in this world were only a dream for Martin Luther King. Not a one-term, but a two-term African-American president. And this is a terrible country. That was a dream for Martin Luther King. I got interracial marriages. I go to a church that's an interracial church. Those are only dreams for Martin Luther King. Black head coaches, black quarterbacks at places like Georgia and Alabama and Clemson, when Martin Luther King was, that was just a dream. Just a dream. Black CEOs, NBA owners, you name it. Unbelievable. Now, does that mean that there's not still problems? Yes. Where there's people, whether they're black, green, yellow, orange, white, there is going to be sin, greed, hate, jealousy, deceitfulness. There's going to be that. That's always going to be there. Always will be there. Always. But attitude, work ethic, love, respect for others, that doesn't know any color. That's what I love about football. That's what I love about the game. That's what I love about it.
Ed opened the door. There's high school players in Kentucky, Illinois, and Nebraska that are not standing during the national anthem. My opinion is maybe they don't realize they're just trying to
I think you know, everybody wants to be a part of something, and I think that has the opposite effect. Again, I just think that there's a better way to address legitimate concerns that people have. Legitimate issues that need to be talked about and discussed, and how do you improve and hold people accountable for wrongful acts, period. Sin is sin. Wrong is wrong. I don't care who's doing it. That's what I try to teach these guys. Wrong is wrong. I don't care if everybody's doing it. And right is right. I don't care if nobody's doing it. Let's do what's right. But I think that, again, it's the way you do things. You know, there's a right way to do it. And I think, again, although the intent is very sincere and very good, because there are problems and there needs to be awareness and there needs to be, I just think that method just creates more divisiveness, because this is a wonderful country. It's a wonderful country. Not without problems, not without issues, because where there's people, there will always be that. But, you know, I don't think that's the right way. I really don't. One guy's opinion. What the heck do I know?
When there was an issue on campus in the last year, some of your guys interjected themselves quietly and into that.
No, some of them went over there, and that's the right way to do that. Yeah, you want to be a part of something, go be a part of it. Go be a part of it. You know, I think those are positive things. There's positive ways to do those type of things. And everybody's right. And I have total respect for Kaepernick and him wanting to do that. Hey, that's his right. That's his right. I just don't agree with his method of how he's going about it. I think it just creates a bigger divide.
Deshaun said yesterday that he picked a word out.
Well, we got nothing to talk about today, do we? Y'all got me preaching in here. I don't know where I get on that.
That yesterday he picked out a word with you at the beginning of the season, and his word was patient. What's the significance of that word in terms of, heading into this weekend?
You know what my word is? Love. Maybe that's why, I guess, you asked that question. That's my word, love. Love. You said his word is patient. He lost his patience Saturday. So let's focus on that word. Be patient. Don't let that affect you. You affect that. All right? I think it's a great word for him.
How do we keep players? We've seen this with Johnny Manziel when he was at Texas A&M, Jadeveon Clowney when he was at South Carolina. I think with Deshaun as well, just this super over hype of these guys who maybe aren't capable of.
All of y'all go out of business. All of y'all go out of business. That's how you keep from it. Everybody everybody goes out of business. Internet shuts down. Social media goes away. We go back to 1950. There's 3 channels on TV. There's one beat writer that comes and covers practice. You get a weekly article. What's that?
Coaches are paid $30,000.
Coaches are paid $30,000, whatever. I'd still be coaching. I'd still be coaching. I didn't get into coaching to make money.
Is there a way to prepare a player for that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
How do you do that?
We got lots of ways that we do that. It's what we do as coaches. Lots of ways. I'm not going to lay out because that's an everyday thing. It's in everything that you do. It's every meeting that you have. It's every segment meeting. It's every practice. It's every post-practice. It's every conflict. It's every issue that has to be resolved. It's other things that happen where you teach. So there's lots of ways that you do that. But the biggest thing is you just embrace it. It's the way it is.
Did that ever flash through your
I'm
mind?
glad it's that way. I mean, heck. We could be somewhere where nobody gave a darn. Nobody showed up. Nobody asked you questions. Nobody asked anything. It's just the way it is. I'm glad to be at a place where, man, people are interested in what I wear. People are interested in, the dumbest things because it's at Clemson. I think that's great. That means that man, we're one of those programs out there that's pretty relevant.
You had an issue with a quarterback a few